Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we study Constitution Amendment and Indian Constitution. Top 200 MCQ questions for the Indian Constitution and Constitution Amendment Act of India. We all please watch the complete video for your upcoming exams and tests. Please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channels and forward to the student for the studies and exams like DLED, UPSC, BPSC and other all state exams. Let's start the topic and please like, share and subscribe. First question. In which year was the Constitution of India amended for the first time? Right answer is B. 1951. Under the provision of which article can amend be made in the Indian Constitution? Right answer is B. Article 368. In which part of the Indian Constitution the Parliament was given the power to amend the Constitution and its provision? Right answer is A. In Part 20. The ninth schedule of the Constitution of India was added by the right answer is C. First Amendment Act 1951. By which constitutional amendment the land reform law passed by state has been kept outside the jurisdiction of the court by placing them in the ninth schedule? Right answer is A. First Constitutional Amendment Act 1951. By which constitutional amendment was it the number of the members of the Legislative Council of the state would not exact one-third of the strength of the Legislative Assembly? The number of members of Legislative Council of the state would not one-third of the Legislative Assembly. Right answer is D. 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956. Which constitutional amendment allowed the same person to appoint as a government of one or more states or governor of the Union Territories? Right answer is D. 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956. By which constitutional amendment was Meghalaya formed out of Assam? Right answer is C. 22nd Constitutional Amendment 1969. Which amendment made it mandatory for the President to give his assent to the Constitution Amendment Bill? Right answer is 24th Constitution Amendment 1971. The President's power to a bill for amendment of Constitution has been taken away by substituting the word "shall give his consent." Shall give his consent. By which amendment? Right answer is D. 24th Constitution Amendment 1971. In which constitution amendment the maximum number of members of the Lok Sabha was fixed at 545? Right answer is 31st Amendment Act 1973. Which constitution amendment act reduced the representative of Union Territories in Lok Sabha from 25 to 20? Right answer is A. 31st Constitution Amendment Act 1973. Which Constitutional Amendment Act Sikkim the Statute of Associated State of India? Right answer is B. 35 Constitution Amendment Act 1974. In which constitutional amendment Sikkim was added to the Indian Union as the 22nd state? Right answer is A. 36 Constitution Amendment 1975. Under which amendment Arunachal Pradesh constitutes its Legislative Assembly and Council of Ministers as a Union Territories? Right answer is 37th Constitutional Amendment 1975. Which constitutional amendment made the proclamation of emergency issue by the President non-judiciary, which means it can't be challenged in any court? Right answer is D. 38 Constitutional Amendment 1975. This Amendment Act removed dispute related to the election to the President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Speaker of the Lok Sabha out of jurisdiction of the court. Right answer is B. 39 Constitution Amendment 1975. Which of the following Amendment Act is constituent as a mini constitution? Right answer is C. 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976. Next question. The 14th Amendment Act 1976 was enacted to amend which article of the Constitution of India? Right answer is A. Article 297. Which Constitutional Amendment Act gives the Parliament the power to determine the limits of Indian territories, water, constitutional self, EEZ and martial zones? Right answer is B. 14th Constitutional Amendment 1976. Which constitutional amendment increased the term of Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly by 1 year to the 6th year? Right answer is C. 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976. By which amendment of the Indian Constitution the word "secular", "socialist" and "integrity" was added in the preamble of Indian Constitution? Right answer is A. 22nd Constitution Amendment 1976. In which constitutional amendment the subject of education, weight, forest measures and protection of wild animals and birds were removed from the state list and placed in the concurrent list? Right answer is A. 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976. The 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 was prepared on the basis of the report which of the following community? Right answer is A. Swan Singh community. This Constitution Amendment Act reduced the term of Lok Sabha from 6 years to 5 years. This Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is B. 44th Constitution Amendment Act 1978. This Constitution Amendment Act reduced the number of fundamental rights to freedom from 7 to 6. It reduced the number of fundamental rights to freedom 7 to 6. Right answer is B. 55th Constitution Amendment Act 1986. By which constitutional amendment Article 102 and Article 191 were amended and provisions related to anti-defamation were placed under the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution? Article 102 and Article 191 amendment provisions related to anti-defense were placed under the 10th schedule of the Constitution. Right answer is C. 7th Constitution Amendment 1992. By which constitutional amendment Mizoram has been granted full statehood? Which constitutional amendment? 82nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 2000. By which constitutional amendment Arunachal Pradesh has fully granted state status? Arunachal Pradesh was granted full statehood status. Right answer is D. 55th Constitutional Amendment 1986. By which following amendment did the President provide officially Hindi version of Constitution of the people of the country? Which of the following amendment President provide fully Hindi version Constitution of the people of the India? Right answer is D. 58 Constitution Amendment 1987. Which constitutional amendment act increased the limit of provision tax from 250 per annual to 2050 per annual? Provisional tax from 250 per annual to 2500 per annual. Right answer is D. 60 Constitutional Amendment 1988. Which constitutional amendment has reduced the minimum age of voting rights from 21 years to 18 years, has reduced the minimum age of voting rights from 21 years to 18 years. Right answer is 61st Constitution Amendment 1989. In which constitutional amendment Delhi has been renamed as a National Capital Territory of India (NCL)? Which article? Right answer is 69th Constitutional Amendment 1991. Which constitutional amendment has imposed a ban of defense of legislative members of a party in a legislative assembly? Right answer is 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1985. By which constitutional amendment provision was moved to a Goa and state of a full state to make Daman and Diu a new union territory. Goa, the state of full state, to make Daman and Diu a new state. Which constitutional amendment? Right answer is 56th Constitutional Amendment 1987. By which constitutional amendment Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali language were included in the 18th schedule of the Constitution? Right answer is 71st Constitutional Amendment 1992. Which constitutional amendment has been given constitution state to the parliamentary Raj system? Constitution state to the parliamentary Raj system. Right answer is 73rd Constitutional Amendment 1992. Under which constitutional amendment 33% reservation for the women in local body was provided? 33% reservation for women in local body was provided. Right answer is D. B and C, the 34th and 33rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Which constitutional amendment reservation for reservation was added SC and ST after November 1992? Reservation for SC and ST after 1992. Which Constitutional Amendment Act? 77 Constitutional Amendment 1995. By which Constitutional Amendment 27 land reform law passed by 7 states had been included in the 9th schedule? 27 land reform passed by 7 states have included in the 7th schedule. Right answer is 78 Constitutional Amendment 1995. By which constitutional amendment the state will get 26% share of the amount received from direct central tax? The state will 26% share to the amount reaches from direct central tax. Which Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is 18th Constitution Amendment Act 2000. In which constitutional amendment the backlog vacancy received by SC and ST have been excluded from the 50% limit of reservation? The backlog vacancy reserved for SC and ST exclusive 50% limit of the reservation. Right answer is D. 81st Constitutional Amendment Act 2000. Which constitutional amendment provides for no change in the number of seats in Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly till 2026? Which constitutional amendment act? Right answer is 84th Constitutional Amendment Act 2001. Which constitutional amendment act added Article 51A(k) to the Indian Constitution, the right to education as a fundamental right? Which Constitutional Amendment Act has added the right to education? Right answer is D. 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. By which Constitutional Amendment Act was the 11th fundamental duty added to the Indian Constitution? By which fundamental act 11 fundamental duties was added? Right answer is B. 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. Which constitutional amendment provide for collection of service tax by the central government and its distribution to the central and state government. Which constitution amendment provide the collection of service tax central government as a distribution of central and state government? Right answer is 88 Constitution Amendment Act 2003. Which Constitution Amendment Act, Article 338 and Article 338A, thereby separation the National Commission of ST and National Commission of ST, NCST and NCSC? Right answer is 89th Constitution Amendment Act 2003. By which Constitution Amendment Act terrorism district has been included in the Assam Legislative Assembly? Which Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is B. 19th Constitution Amendment Act 2003. By which amendment of the Indian Constitution was a OBC reserved for 27% for admission to the educational institute? Indian Constitution was OBC reservation for 27% admission to the education institute. Right answer is A. 93rd Constitution Amendment Act 2005. Which Constitution Amendment Act deal with GST, goods and services tax? Right answer is 101 Constitution Amendment Act 2016. Which constitutional amendment has given constitutional state to the OBC Commission? Right answer is D. 102 Constitutional Amendment Act 2018. The reservation seat for Anglo-Indian community, the reservation seat for the Anglo-Indian community in the Indian Parliament and state legislative was abolished by which Constitutional Amendment Act? Which Constitutional Amendment Act? Right answer is D. 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2020. Under which amendment of Indian Constitution, state and union territories were given the power to identify and especially socialist backward classes. State and union territories were given the power to identify especially socialist backward classes. Right answer is A. 105th Constitution Amendment Act 2021. Under which constitutional amendment one third means 33% of the total seats in Lok Sabha, Legislative Assembly of National Capital Territories of Delhi will be reserved for women for 15 years. One third of the total seat in the Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly and Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territories of Delhi will be reserved for women for 15 years. Right answer is 106 Constitution Amendment Act 2003. Under which constitutional amendment provision was made to include the members of the Legislative Assembly of Delhi and Puducherry in the election of the President? Provision was made to include member of Legislative Assembly of Delhi and Puducherry in the election of President. Right answer is D. 17th Constitution Amendment Act 1992. Under which constitutional amendment a new Part 9, the 11th schedule were added to the Indian Constitution. A new part and 11th schedule were added in the Indian Constitution. Right answer is 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. In which constitutional amendment the Act provided 69% reservation in government job to backward classes, passed by Tamil Nadu government as added to the 9th schedule? The Act provides 69% reservation in government job to the backward classes, passed by Tamil Nadu government, was passed in the 9th schedule. Right answer is 76th Constitution Amendment Act 1994. Which of the following of the Indian Constitution deal with reservation of SC and ST and reservation of Anglo-Indian in Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. Which Amendment Act? Right answer is 79th Constitutional Amendment Act 1999. In which constitutional amendment has the state given relaxation in the minimum marks of the candidate belongs to the SC and ST in the reservation vacancy in government job? The state given relaxation minimum marks of the candidate belonging to SC and ST caste reservation vacancy in the government job. This Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is 82nd Constitution Amendment Act 2000. Which constitutional amendment? The requirement of any kind of reservation for SC in Panchayat of Arunachal Pradesh. The requirement of any kind of reservation for ST in the Panchayat of Arunachal Pradesh. Right answer is 83rd Constitutional Amendment Act 2000. By which constitutional amendment provision has been made to control party defense and number of ministers? Which constitutional amendment act? 91st Constitutional Amendment Act 2003. By which constitutional amendment Bodo, Dogi, Maithili and Santhali languages has been added to the ninth schedule of the Constitution? Bodhi, Dogli, Maithili and Santhali language was added to the ninth schedule of the Constitution. Which Constitutional Amendment Act? Right answer is 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2003. Under which of the following Constitutional Amendment Act for four languages added to the ninth schedule of the Constitution of India, increasing their number to 22. Total language 22. Right answer is D. 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act 2003. This Constitution Amendment Act right to form cooperation society. Article 19C in Part 3rd of Indian Constitution. Which Amendment Act? Right answer is 97th Constitution Amendment Act 2011. By which constitutional amendment the National Judiciary Appointments Commission was formed, but it was struck down by the Supreme Court? Which Constitutional Amendment Act? Right answer is 99th Constitutional Amendment Act 2014. Which constitutional amendment has implement fourth-year-old land boundary agreement ALB 1974 between India and Bangladesh? Which constitutional amendment has implemented the fourth-year land boundary agreement LBA 1974 between India and Bangladesh? Right answer is 100th Constitutional Amendment Act 2015. By which Constitutional Amendment Act? Article 15, 90, 31, 85, 87, 174, 176, 372 and 376. Which Constitutional Amendment Act? Article 15, 19, 31, 85, 87, 174, 176, 372 and 376 was amendment and 19th schedule was included. Which Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is First Constitution Amendment Act 1951. Which Constitution Amendment abolishes the division of state into four classes and divides them into 14 states and 6 union territories? Which Constitution Amendment Act? Fifth Constitution Amendment Act 1995. Which Constitution Amendment? Article 334 of the Constitution, thereby reservation of SC ST, and Anglo-Indian community for 10 years till 1970. Article 334 of the Constitution, reservation for SC and ST, Anglo-Indian community for 10 years till 1970. Right answer is 8th Constitution Amendment Act 1959. 8th Constitution Amendment Act 1959. By which constitutional amendment was the Begubadi Khulna Kshetra? By which constitutional amendment Begubadi Khulna area given to Pakistan by making necessary changes in the first schedule? Which constitutional amendment act? 9th Constitutional Amendment Act 1960. By which constitution amendment Dadar and Nagar Haveli was included in the Indian Union and give them the state of Union territories? Dadar and Nagar Haveli included in the Indian Union and given them the state of the Union territories. Right answer is 10th Constitution Amendment Act 1961. Which constitutional amendment the requirement for the joint of sitting of both houses of parliament? Requirement for the joint sitting of both houses of parliament for the election of the vice president. Right answer is 11th Constitutional Amendment Act 1961. By which constitutional amendment was Goa, Daman and Diu merged in the Indian Union? Right answer is 12th Constitutional Amendment Act 1962. By which constitutional amendment Article 371A was added, which gives some special provision for the admission of Nagaland? By which constitutional amendment Article 371A was added, which gives some special provision for administration of Nagaland? Which constitutional amendment act? Right answer is 13th Constitutional Amendment Act 1962. In which constitutional amendment Pondicherry was added to the first schedule as a union territory? Which constitutional amendment act? 14th Constitutional Amendment Act 1962. Which constitutional amendment increased the retirement age of High Court judge from 60 to 62 years? Which constitutional amendment act increased the retirement of age of the High Court judge to 16 years to 62 years? Which constitutional amendment act? 15th Constitutional Amendment Act 1963. By which constitutional amendment the separation of any state from the Indian Union has been provised? Which constitutional amendment the separation of any state from the Indian Union has been provised? Right answer is 16th Constitutional Amendment Act 1963. Which constitutional amendment act provide that Indian under personal conservation can't be unless the market value of land is given as a comprehension? Which constitutional amendment act provide the land under personal cultivation can't be unless the market value of the land is given as a comprehension? Right answer is 17th Constitutional Amendment Act 1964. Under which constitutional amendment the parliament empowered to form a new state or union territory by merging a part of state or union territories with another state or union territories? This amendment was Parliament empowered to form a new state and union territories by merging a part of state or union territories with other state or union territories. Right answer is A. 18th Constitution Amendment Act 1966. In which constitutional amendment Sindhi language was added to the ninth schedule of the original constitution? Which Constitution Amendment Act? 21st Constitution Amendment Act 1967. Which Constitution Amendment Act? Article 330 and Article 332. The reservation seat in the Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly for ST in Nagaland. With Constitution Amendment Act, Article 330 and 32, the reservation seat in Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly for ST in Nagaland. Right answer is 23rd Constitution Amendment Act 1969. Which of the following amendment or act of the Constitution of India abolishes the privilege of the former ruler of the Princess Estate? Which Constitution Amendment Act? 26th Constitution Amendment Act 1971. Which article of the Indian Constitution was amendment through Constitution 26th Amendment Act 1971 related to the provision of Preci-Prush? Which Constitution Amendment Act 26th Amendment Act 1971 related to the Preci-Prush? Right answer is both A and B. Article 291 and Article 362. Which Constitution Amendment create 5 states northeastern region: Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Manipur and Tripura, and 2 union territories: Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh? Which Constitution Amendment Act create 5 states of northeastern region: Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Manipur and Tripura, and 2 union territories: Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh? Right answer is 27th Constitution Amendment Act 1971. Which Constitution Amendment Act removed Article 314 of the Constitution, which provide a special privilege for ICS officers? Right answer is 28th Constitution Amendment Act 1972. Through which Constitution Amendment to Land Reform Act of Kerala? Through which Constitution Amendment to Land Reform Act of Kerala, Land Reform Article 1969 and Kerala and Land Reform Articles 1971 was included in the ninth schedule? Which Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer, right answer is C. 29 Constitution Amendment Act 1972. Which Constitution Amendment Act? Article 331st-D and 331st-E into the Indian Constitution, which deal with a special provision for the state of Andhra Pradesh? Constitution Amendment Act, Article 331st-D and Article 331st-E in Indian Constitution, which deal with a special provision for the state of Andhra Pradesh. Right answer is B. 32nd Constitution Amendment Act 1973. By which Constitution Amendment Act Articles 101 and Article 190 was amended to determine the rule of election, resignation of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha and Speaker of the Deputy Speaker of a Legislative Assembly? By which Constitution Amendment Act Article 101 and Article 190 were amended to determine the rule of the election and resignation of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha and the Speaker of the Deputy Speaker of a Legislative Assembly? Right answer is 33rd Constitution Amendment Act 1974. By which Constitution Amendment reservation of ST has provided in the Assembly of Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland and Andhra Pradesh? Which Constitution Amendment Act? 29th Constitution Amendment Act 1972. In which Constitution Amendment provision has been made to include members of Legislative Assembly of the Union Territories of Delhi and Puducherry in the Electoral College of the President. Provision has been made to the include member of Legislative Assembly of the Union Territories of Delhi and Puducherry in the Electoral College of the President. Right answer is 17th Constitution Amendment Act 1992. By which Constitution Amendment Act, Article 82 has been amended and constitutionally was done on the basis of 2001 centuries. Article 82 has been amendment and delimitation of the Constitution was limited on the basis of 21st century, 2001 century. Right answer is 87 Constitution Amendment Act 2003. This constitutional amendment is related to EWS, Economical Weaker Section Reservation. Right answer is 103 Constitutional Amendment Act 2019. Which bills was passed as the 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act related to 10% reservation for EWS, Economical Weaker Section. Which Constitutional Amendment Act? 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2019. The 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act 2019 by amend which article provide 10% reservation to the EWS in the Government Job and Education Institute. 103 Constitutional Amendment Act 2090 by which article provide 10% reservation to the EWS in the Government Job and Education Institute. Right? Which article? Right answer is Article 15 and Article 16. Which amendment of the Indian Constitution the reservation for SC and ST in the Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly of 10 years. Reservation for SC and ST in the Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly for 10 years. Which Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is 104th Constitution Amendment Act 2020. By which constitutional amendment a new Article 334A has been added to the Indian Constitution. By which constitution? Which Constitution Amendment? 106 Constitution Amendment Act 2023. The ninth schedule to the Constitution of India was added by the right answer is First Constitution Amendment Act 1951. This amendment in the Indian Constitution deal with the extension of jurisdiction of High Court to the Union Territories. This amendment in the Indian Constitution deal with the extension of the jurisdiction of High Court to the Union Territories. Which Constitution Amendment Act? 7th Constitution Amendment Act 1956. Which part of the Indian Constitution was removed by the 7th Constitution Amendment Act 1956? Which part of the Constitution? Part 7th was removed. Which constitutional amendment, Article 81 first B of the Indian Constitution, thereby removed the upper limit of population for constitutionally in the Lok Sabha? Which constitutional amendment, Article 81st A B of the Indian Constitution, thereby removed the upper limit of population for the constitutionally in the Lok Sabha? Which constitution amendment? 2nd Constitution Amendment Act 1952. Which of the following constitutional amendment was the first constitution amendment which was state legislative according to the requirement of the provision of Article 338 368 second of the Indian Constitution. Which of the following constitutional amendment was the first constitutional amendment was the state legislative according to requirement of the provision of Article 368 second of the Indian Constitution. Right answer is third Constitution Amendment Act 1954. The abolition of zamindari system was enacted by which amendment of the Indian Constitution? Which amendment? 1954, Fourth Constitutional Amendment Act. The Fourth Constitutional Amendment Act 1955 was related to the which fundamental right? Which fundamental right? Right to property. The Fourth Amendment classified the adequacy of the comprehension of can't be challenged in court. Which article did this related? The Fourth Amendment classified that adequacy of comprehension of can't be challenged in the court. Which article? Right answer is Article 31st second. Which schedule of the Indian Constitution was affected by the Fourth Amendment in related to land reform law? Which schedule? Right answer is ninth schedule. Which of the following article was amended in the Constitution? Fifth Amendment Act 1955. Which article? Right answer is Article 3. This constitutional amendment gives the central government the power to impose sales tax in the interstate trade. This constitutional amendment the central government the power of impose sales tax on the interstate trade. Right answer is Sixth Constitutional Amendment Act 1956. Which of the following amendment to the Constitution of India was passed by with the primary object of constitutional reorganization of Indian state on the basis of language? Which of the following amendment of Indian Constitution was passed primary objective of constitutionally reorganized on the basis of language? Which Constitution Amendment Act? Seventh Constitution Amendment Act 1956. This Constitution amendment the state of the Indian Union was ex- extensively recognized in 1956. By this Constitution amendment, the state of Indian Union was extensively reorganized in 1956. Right answer is A. Seventh Constitution Amendment Act 1956. By which constitutional amendment jurisdiction of the High Court was acceded to the Union Territories? Which Constitution Amendment Act? Seventh Constitution Amendment Act 1956. In which constitutional amendment provision of legislative assembly was made in the Union Territories? Himachal Pradesh, Goa, Daman Diu, Tripura, Puducherry and Manipur. Which Constitutional Amendment Act? 14th Constitutional Amendment Act 1962. Which constitutional amendment increased the retirement age of High Court for 16 years to 62 years? Which Constitutional Amendment Act? 15th Constitutional Amendment Act 1963. As per the 17th Constitutional Amendment Act 1964, how many is comprehensive between determined for the acquisition of land? Which right answer is market value of land. According to the According to the 18th Constitution Amendment 1966, what is included under the word state in clause Article A and E. According to 18th Constitution Amendment 1966, what is included under the word state in clause Article A and Article E? Right answer is Part A, B, C, state and union territories. Means right answer is D. This constitutional amendment was aimed at empowering the parliament to reorganize union territories of Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. This constitutional amendment act, 18th Constitutional Amendment Act 1966. Which amendment applies the system of election and vests the power of fair election? Right answer is 19th Constitutional Amendment Act 66. This amendment changed clause first of Article 324 of the Constitution, which originally provided Election Commission of India the power to superintend, direct and control election. This amendment changed clause first of the Article 324 of the Constitution, which organized, provide Election Commission of India the power to superintend, direct and control election. Right answer is 19th Constitutional Amendment Act 1966. Article 233A added by the Constitution 12th 20th Constitutional Amendment 1966 deal with. Right answer is appointment and provision of district judge. This constitutional amendment, Article 244A to the Indian Constitution, giving Parliament to power to make law for the formation of the audit, autonomic state within Assam. This constitutional amendment, Article 244A of the Indian Constitution, giving Parliament the power to make law for the formation of autonomous state within Assam. Right answer is 22nd Constitutional Amendment 1969. This amendment of the Indian Constitution declared the Parliament has the power to breach or make away of the fundamental right under Article 368. Such an act shall not be law within meaning of Article 13. Which Indian Constitution Amendment, Parliament has to power a breach or take away of the fundamental right under 368 and such a act not be law within the meaning of Article 13. Which right answer is 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1961. Why were Article 13, 4 and 368 third added in the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971? Right answer is to increase the power of Parliament. The 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971 allowed Parliament to amend which part of the Constitution. 24th Constitution Amendment Act 1971 allowed Parliament to amend which part of the Constitution. Right answer is any part of Constitution. Which of the following case provide the Parliament to enact 24th Constitution Amendment Act? Right answer is Golnath बनाम Punjab, Golnath versus State of Punjab case. In which constitutional amendment, Parliament was given the power to amend any provision of Constitution, including fundamental right. Right answer is 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971. The 25th Constitutional Amendment Act introduced in 1970 was related to which article? Right answer is संपत्ति के मौलिक अधिकार पर अंकुश लगा. राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी. According to 25th Amendment Act 1971, who will determine the compensation for acknowledgement of private property by the state. Right answer is right answer is Parliament. According to the Indian Constitution Amendment, any law made to give direction of any law made to the effect of the directive principle of state policy contain Article 39 B and C can't be challenged on what ground? According to Indian Constitution Amendment, any law made to give effect to the directive principle of state policy constitution contain Article 39 B and C can't be challenged on what ground. Right answer is 24th Constitution Amendment 1971. 13th Constitution Amendment 1972 was related to which subject? Which subject? सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में सिविल अप्लाई पर उच्च न्यायालय में निर्णय के प्रमाण पत्र के संबंध में. Under the 31st Constitution Amendment 1973, the number of parliamentary seats was increased to. Right answer is 525 to 545. The provision related to the protection and empowerment of the environment and safeguarding of the forest and wildlife were added to the Indian Constitution by which Constitution Amendment Act. The provision related to protection and empowerment of the forest, wildlife and environment with Constitution Amendment Act. Right answer is 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. The power to the President of India to refer a matter back to the Council of Ministers of reorganized were installed in the Constitution. The power of President of India to refer a matter back to Council of Ministers to reorganize by installed in the Constitution. Right answer is 22nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976. By the 42nd Constitution Amendment, certain subject was transferred to the state list to concurrent list. Certain subject transferred state list to the concurrent list. Which of the following is not of them? Right answer is forest and local government. This constitutional amendment gives the directive principle over fundamental right. Right answer is 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976. By which constitution amendment some new elements were added to the directive principle. Right answer is 47th Constitution Amendment Act 1976. In which constitution amendment the constitution amendment made by the parliament was buried and from being challenged in the court. In which constitution amendment the constitution amendment by the parliament was buried from being challenged in the court. Right answer is 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976. By which Constitution Amendment Act, Article 352, emergency can be imposed in the whole country or in some part of the country. Right answer is D. 44th and 47th Constitution Amendment Act 1976 and 1978.